evening, everyone, and welcome to KXI 12 News at 6. I'm Jeff Eliasoff.
And I'm Caroline Fletcher. New information reveals the highly publicized vandalism case at the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool in Washington, D.C. was actually a botched paint job, and the two Atoka, Oklahoma companies hired for the work are caught in the middle.
KXI 12's Amia Medellin explains.
In June, we introduced you to the Atoka-based subcontractors hired to resurface the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool, Exodus Mobile Cleaning, and Mid-America Industrial Coatings. The two small businesses worked 12-hour days, 7 days a week for 61 days straight. They were proud to represent Oklahoma at the nation's capital, especially during America's 250th birthday. At the time, they had the backing of the White House.
The proud people from Oklahoma, they came from Oklahoma, a company from Oklahoma, to do it.
But shortly after reopening, the blue coating they installed began to peel. The Trump administration blamed vandals, and an Olympic canoeist was even arrested for felony destruction of property. But new court documents uncovered by the Oklahoman reveal a completely different story. Prosecutors have dropped all charges, admitting the damages was actually the result of, quote, flawed installation during heavy rains. In our recent coverage, Exodus Mobile Cleaning told us crews had only 4 days off during the project because of rain. But behind the scenes, internal emails uncovered by the Oklahoman reveal officials knew the project was slipping almost immediately. The newspaper reports the renovation was delayed by rain on day 1. By day 3, a contractor monitoring Atlantic Industrial Coatings' progress warned in an email, quote, "It appears AIC is significantly behind schedule." Atlantic Industrial Coatings defended their work, telling inspectors that nearly all coating failures normally show up within a couple weeks of completion. The reflecting pool has had expensive repeated problems and repairs for years, including during the Obama administration. We reached out to both Oklahoma subcontractors Wednesday for comment, but have not yet heard back. Reporting, Mia Medellin, KXI 12.